Okay, this is our video for what is called the present active, it's an I, indicative, right? So the present means this is our tense, okay? This is our tense. It means it's happening now as opposed to future or a past tense. Active, this is what is called the voice. This is opposed to passive voice in English. So an active would be I eat, as opposed to a passive voice, I am eaten. The difference, it has to do with how the subject and verb are interacting and who's actually doing the action. So most common, simplest form is active. So it's I do something. I eat, I dance, I sleep. Or with the verb that we're going to be using, luo, I loosen. Okay? Indicative, this is what is called our mood. Mood is a little complex, especially when you're comparing English to more, I believe it's called synthetic. No. More inflected languages like Greek. So as far as we're concerned right now, you're going to think of it as just a statement of fact as opposed to maybe a command, which we will get to. And there are other moods in Greek that are a little complex, but they tend to occur in very specific circumstances. So for now, just think of it as just a statement, just a plain, basic verb. I eat, I loosen, I dance. Those are all indicative, as opposed to a command, which we'll be going over soon. So, luo is our word here, right? And so technically, with this omega ending here, which is a sign of the first person singular, this right here technically means I loosen, okay? It is just typical that when you look the words up in the dictionary, what you have is the first person singular, present, active, indicative of the verb. And then they'll go on and give you the definition because they're expecting you to know how to conjugate the verb and to be able to break it out, pull its pieces apart, and figure out what it means in whatever context you're reading. So technically this is the first person singular, present, active, indicative. But we're just going to simply define it as loosen because we're using this as a placeholder for a whole series of forms that this could be. So for now, we're going to do the present active indicative. So we have luo, okay? So we have to, if we want to change how many people are doing it or who is doing it, we have to change our ending, okay? Our root form is lu, and then we have to add endings to change what's going on. So for the singular, our first, second, and third person singular, okay? We have luo, lues, and lue, okay? These are our endings here, okay? O, ace, a. And these are what our endings are going to be with all of our verbs. So, first person, this is I, loosen. Second person, you, singular, okay? One single person, not a group of people. We don't make that distinction in English, or we don't have to make that distinction in English. You, loosen. Third person, he or she or it or some sort of entity that is not I, it is not you, but is some single person or thing outside of the I and you doing it. So he, she, and it captures that sentiment. Loosen. Okay? So this is our singular. And we also have plural. So let's clear our canvas again. Okay? So we have luo. And this is called a paradigm, where we break it out into its pieces and we can see how it functions. So we're going to put our first person here, second person here, and third person here, okay? And if you're following along with Athanasde, the page, you can find all of this broken down on page 48. Okay, there are also explanations as they slowly introduce those pieces on page 3 and 4, page 17, page 31, and then page 48. Okay, so we're going to take luo. We're going to take off this ending, and well, right here we're going to put it in because this is where it is. Okay, we're going to take this omega off, and we're going to do just the lu, and we're going to add our endings. Okay, so second person is lues, third person lue. Now, what if we have multiple groups of people doing this? Okay, so we get luomen, we get luete, and luusi, or e. Now I'll explain that in a minute. So, singular, I loosen, you loosen, he, she, or it loosens. Okay? Plural is over here. This would be we loosen. Okay? And then here, second person, this is Greek makes this distinction, English does not always. So this is you singular, okay? This is you plural, or, y'all. Loosen, okay? This is multiple people that we are talking to that are doing the action, okay? And then third person, this would be just they. Loosen, okay? So we also have one more thing we need to talk about real quick, and that's what's going on with this one here. So I'm going to go ahead and erase it. So this is the third person plural that has something funky, right? So here's our root, right? And I drew a dash, but I'm going to write over it anyway. Luusi, right? Sometimes we have, these are parentheses, okay? Sometimes we have this thing called a movable nu. So you will see luusi in a text. You will also see luusin. Okay? There is no grammatical difference between these. They are the same thing. They have the same meaning. However, it has to do with what comes after the word, whether or not there's a vowel. Because Greek phonetics is pretty important in Greek, and words will change their spelling because of phonetic reasons, and this is one of them. Greek will tack a nu on here so that you don't have too many vowels in a row. So, real quick, just to show you how this can function in a few different ways, I'm going to go ahead and show you a few different verbs. So, lepo, okay, that's to leave, okay? So, lepo, I leave. Lepes, you leave. Lepe, he, she, or it leaves, okay? And then I'm not putting accents. Lepomen, we leave. Lepete, you all leave. And then lepusi, or in parentheses, that movable nu. Lepusi or lepusin, they leave. All right, and let's go ahead and do one more. Another word that is pretty common is ago, okay? That is to lead. And it has a bunch of other meanings, but for now, just to lead. So, first person singular is ago. Then ages, and then age. First, second, third, singular. Plural. Agomen, agete, agusi, or movable new. So we have I lead, you, one person leads, and then he, she, or it leads. We lead, you all lead, they lead. All right, and that is the end of our video going over the present active indicative of regular verbs.